Syracuse Music Collective, and I am sitting here with Mr. Ben Flanagan with Black Maps. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing very well, thanks.
All right, and it's like you guys had a very hell of a tour coming up right now with Nothing More, and just came off some festivals. I mean, that had been pretty wild.
Yeah, we did Carolina Rebellion. It was crazy. Yeah, 40,000 people, over there, each day, and yeah, it was actually our first American festival that we've done.
Nice.
We've done a few in Europe, but we have a bunch more coming up. Chicago Open Air, and then we have one in Maine, and then looks like some more in the fall. So it's fun to sprinkle the festival stuff in with the other shows.
So you were saying this was the first U.S. festival. Like, which ones did you do over in Europe?
We've done one in Munich,
Oh, wow.
and a couple others in Germany. One Gelsenkirchen, I messed that pronunciation up, but somewhere else.
No, I mean, it's like I just was more recently introduced to you guys through Bill Mice, which is, he hit me up and I was like, wow, you guys are great. And I'm just curious, like, how did you guys all come together and form Black Map? Because, I mean, I know you were in other bands as well.
Mm-hmm.
So how did that all come together?
We were all, Mark and I lived together in San Francisco. We were roommates, and his other band, Dredge, wasn't doing too much, and my band, The Trophy Fire, was a little bit inactive. And we just wanted to, I think, probably some like heavy music came on the jukebox or something in the bar, and we were just like, we should do a heavier project. And we texted our friend Chris, who was a drummer we both grew up loving as a musician, and we had become friends with him through the music scene. So we texted him and we were like, let's get together in a room next week and just play some music. And it really started as just a fun thing that we were going to do, on the weekends, and just get together, and then played a couple shows, got some label interest, got some tour offers, and it really just happened organically. We didn't think when we started, like, oh, we're going to sign a record deal and
Right.
tour internationally and do some of the cool things that we've gotten to do. So it's fun.
Now, when you guys were, just starting to put that all together, and I mean, did you guys have like a direction in mind that you wanted to go, or was it kind of evolved on its own?
Heavy, the word heavy was definitely there from the beginning and is still there, but we don't really have rules anymore. I mean, especially on this record, we have some songs, a song called White Fence that, sounds more like, Death Cab for Cutie than it sounds like Pantera or Sepultura or Nirvana. So, yeah, right now it's just the way that the three of us play together, kind of whatever comes out of us. The only rule is that, as long as it's good, it'll make
Right.
the cut. So,
That's a good rule to have.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, I like the name Black Map. I mean, it's kind of, it's got me intrigued. I mean, there's got to be some kind of a story behind that came about, like calling it Black Map.
I don't. It's not too epic a tale. I mean, we went through a lot of names. We basically thought it sounded good, but it does also, it's easy to justify for us. It's dark, black, dark, and our kind of sound is like that. And also the kind of Black Map, like it's uncharted territory. You don't know where you're going, where it's taking you, and that's kind of representative of what we do.
Oh, awesome. And one thing I have noticed is, like, I've been checking out the videos, and I actually really love the Run Rabbit Run.
Cool, thanks.
And what really captivated me about it is the fact that it's very stripped down, very just, it's you guys, right? But I also heard there was an interesting story behind it, of where it was filmed.
Yeah, we filmed it at this place called the Armory in San Francisco, which is generally used to film porn. So we were in this big subterranean room that has like a creek running through it. It's this really trippy room in and of itself. But then there are all these other rooms that are like all these like scenes. So there's like a doctor's office scene and a bar scene, or the lonely cowboy where he walks in and orders a bourbon and the lady, whatever. So it was a trip. So after we filmed the video, we kind of walked around and there were tubs of lube everywhere. Yeah, it was an interesting place to film a video.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, I like a huge variety of music, and it definitely has an impact on what I do, and influences me. And who would you say are your biggest musical influences?
I definitely started playing guitar because of Nirvana. I was of that age where I was just discovering music when they were breaking, and so that was the start for me. But I think people might be surprised when they hear our music about a lot of our influences, because we like the drop tune heavy stuff. But I mean, from Pink Floyd, Depeche Mode, Tears for Fears, Bon Iver. There's a lot of like mellower things that we like a lot. But as far as in the hard rock world, I'd say Nirvana, Failure, Helmet, probably
nice.
the biggest.
Now here's a one interesting one. Is like, you named a lot of influences, and what song do you remember most from your childhood?
Oh, good question. Well, the first song that I ever claimed was my favorite song was "Cherish" by Madonna. I remember that. So that was the first. You know, I was like 10 years old or something, and I heard it, and I was like, "This is my favorite song." But yeah, I mean, but I really like back to Nirvana. That's when I fell in love with music. Was hearing Nevermind. I was, you know, about 10 years old, and when it came out, and I'd never heard anything like that before. You know, my dad always played Beatles records and Jim Croce and, you know, The Who and some heavier stuff, but I still had never heard anything like Nirvana, so that was the game changer for me.
Right on. I mean, I grew up in a house full of music as well. You know, ranging from my father who would play, you know, like Rolling Stones, which is like his, you know, band, and every once in a while he would mix in like oddly punk rock, you know, like the Sex Pistols or, you know, even Pink Floyd. I mean, it was just a huge variety, so I got exposed to a lot of stuff early on, and it's like, and he was basically the one who helped me, you know, gain the stuff I really liked and develop the taste for. Actually, my first show was like Metallica in '86,
nice.
Which, like, you know, being 10 years old, I'm like, whoa, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you remember your first show, or?
My first show, yeah, it was it was the Goo Goo Dolls, but it was they weren't even, we didn't know. So I moved to North Carolina when I was like 11, and my friend Rick and I looked up at that club Cat's Cradle. We just looked up who was playing. We didn't even know the name. We were just like, let's go to a rock show, and it happened to be them. And it was right before they got famous. There was about 20 people there, so it was actually a lot of fun. I probably wouldn't see them since or have any urge to, but it was fun to see an intimate rock show for a band that was about to, unbeknownst to us, about to break.
Oh, nice. Now, you know, obviously you're on the road and everything. What would you say, in your opinion, is your favorite part of being on the road, and also what is the least favorite part of being on the road?
Favorite part is twofold. I mean, it's just playing every night, which we love doing, and then going to new places. I mean, I still have this kind of Kerouacian love of America, and it doesn't just have to be, you know, the major markets. I love going to new cities, new little towns, and finding a little dive bar there, a little, you know, coffee shop or place to eat that's just different, and that's something that it's really unique to musicians. Even, you know, businessmen will fly into these hubs a few times a year, but musicians get to go kind of everywhere. And so that's the thing I like the most. And then definitely the thing that's the hardest is just exhaustion, and then being away from family.
Understandable. Now, if you could tour with any band, you know, who would it be and why would
Let's see. It's hard to say because sometimes the bands that I want to see the most aren't necessarily who I'd want to tour with. But I mean, everything I've seen Muse do in the past few years, and the couple times I've seen them live, and the records are just amazing. So that would have to be up there for me.
Nice.
Queens of the Stone Age also would be a lot of fun.
Oh, very cool, very cool. Now, when you're out driving or on the road or anything, you know, along that line where you're not performing, you know, and the song comes on the radio, what song is it that comes on that still gets you really energized and really, you know, gets you going?
On the radio?
Yeah.
What comes on the radio? I don't listen to too much modern radio, even though we're on it. I don't really listen to it too much. But it's a good question. Say It Ain't So by Weezer came on today, and the whole band was singing that one, so that's a good one. But I like so much music. We actually do listen. We scan the radio a lot in the car, and, you know, we'll get excited about just as much as things that are in our own genre. We'll get excited about a, you know, Elton John song from 1975, or Gordon Lightfoot, or Salt and Pepper. So
there's like a big mix of different ones.
Yeah, we play a certain kind of music, but we all absorb and love all sorts of music.
Oh, you know, same here. I mean, it's like my philosophy has always been, I mean, if it's good as long as it, you know, it hits you in some way or resonates somehow in you.
Sure.
To me, it's all good that way.
Absolutely.
I mean, you know, no matter what genre it is, and, you know, that's the way I've always rolled with things.
Absolutely.
And I guess just kind of wrapping up. I mean, you know, is there anything you want to say to fans or any parting wisdom?
Oh, I'm not all that wise. No, yeah, I mean, we have a record that came out in March called In Droves, and we're really proud of it, and that's what we're touring on at the moment. And so, you know, if you want to check us out, that's the thing to check out, is the new record, In Droves.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time.
Absolutely.
And, you know, taking the time to sit and talk with me, and look forward to a very good show.
Thanks so much.
All right. Thanks.
Cheers.
Guys.